Hello, 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 and welcome to Mari's Golden Hour. This is the birthday episode. The birthday episode because today is my birthday, May 30th. Yes, it is the original OG Memorial Day. More on that in a little bit. But first off, I want to thank everyone for subscribing, commenting, reaching out in general to give a verbal, written, or virtual thumbs up. So that is greatly appreciated. It has been an interesting day today with highs, mediums, and lows, and some wows and OMGs and going on and on and on. But to begin with, I know that this is not anything new by this point of what's going on in the world. I will address that in a second. But I just want to knock out all the mundane stuff first, and then I might get a little heavy. Or maybe I'll sprinkle the heavy in between. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind. So to begin with, birthday today, and it's been interesting. On one hand, this is we're in the middle of the epidemic still, and to celebrate anything, I don't know, you feel a little odd, maybe a little guilty for celebrating anything, but then on the flip, we kind of need to have moments where we are celebrating things, so I don't know, but alright, let me knock out some of the I don't want to say it's mundane, but just observations that I made during the week since we last met. So I was out walking around and just trying to get in some exercise, and I happened to hear a kid who was out walking with their parent, and I heard the child ask her mom across the street why I was wearing a mask. And I thought that was interesting because that meant that the parents hadn't been wearing masks all this time, and the child wasn't used to seeing anyone at all wearing masks, which I thought that was odd, that the child would even ask, why is she wearing a mask? I don't know, I thought that was interesting and also very telling. So, and I believe I mentioned this before, that a book that I am reading, which is Suzanne Summers' A New Way to Age. And I've been reading a lot more about toxicity, and these are things that I feel like we all already know, that there are toxic things that are in the air, in the food, and in the water. We're just inhaling it, ingesting it, and breathing it all the time. But I was just reading more on that subject, and I don't know, in light of a lot of different things that are going on in the world, I was just thinking that toxicity and the correlation of all that stuff that we ingest and inhale, how it affects us internally, and therefore, because it affects us internally, it'll affect us externally, and how we act and react to the world and the others that are in it, and then how, I don't know, we treat our animals too. And what made me think of the animals is that whole story about that woman in Central Park that went a little bananas and was calling the police on an innocent bystander, and the resulting actions of her actions, and how she pretty much got reprimanded and her dog taken away from her as a result, which when I first heard about that story, I wondered, which way is it going to go? Which way is it going to go? But, so I don't know, I was just thinking about toxicity, and I wondered, for somebody who has that kind of behavior, how their dog treats them and other people, just how toxicity affects animals, and they absorb a lot of those things, a lot of the behaviors that we have, so, I don't know. Let's see, what else? Seeing more articles of people who are not of color, how well, actually, one article in particular was of a couple that they adopted black sons. Specifically, they were sons, I believe, from Africa or of African descent. And I don't know, just reading that article, it was just very well written, and it was very aware. And I just feel like we are encountering a lot more of these aware articles written by people who are not of color. Just, I don't know, finally getting it. Like, it's finally seeping in. And in light of a lot of the protests that I'm seeing and people uniting, I think, I don't know, I'm wondering if this latest death of George Floyd, that horrific event, jeez, I wonder if this is finally that straw that's going to break that back of, you know what, we need to wake up. Well, just as a nation, as a planet, enough is enough. And I understand, yes, crime does happen by bad people for various reasons, but what I saw, and I admittedly, I do not know what led up to that. I actually heard this evening that there's something about something like counterfeiting, and I don't know if or if George Floyd was involved with that, or if he was a suspect, or it was alleged. I don't know, but what I saw from the various videos and photos, that was uncalled for. There is a way to restrain people and to do your job for suspects, but, okay, well, anyway, moving on. So, my birthday is May 30th, and that is the OG Memorial Day. Now, granted, it is not the sexiest of holidays, but it is a holiday nonetheless. It's a time to reflect, a time to remember, and yes, a time for barbecue. Though not this particular time around will there be much merrymaking, but yeah. I didn't partake of any barbecue this time, but I smelled a lot of the good stuff during the week, and out and about while out on my errands and whatnot. Although I did cave, and I made the mistake of grocery shopping while I was hungry, and I got way too many impulse buys. And food is like clothing. It's, sometimes it looks good on the rack, but not necessarily on the body. Or in the body. But I will get a lot of those impulse buys, and then I'll put it away, and maybe I'll eat like a little bit of it, or it'll just stay in the pantry for a while. And it's no bueno. Anyway, sort of like having pancakes. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You can eat a couple from that stack and then get stuffed, and you have all these extra pancakes. But anyway, as for the barbecue over the observed holiday, I ended up going on the healthy route, and I got these the cauliflower burgers. And I have yet to eat them, but I do plan on having them with some very, very delicious Kansas-style barbecue sauce. So that'll be lovely. Let's see. Fun Memorial Day facts. From what I remember growing up, and also what I tootled around and did some research on, that the day, of course, as I said before, and this is stuff I already knew, that it had been observed on May 30th. That was the official day. And from the years 1868 to 1970, that is when they observed Memorial Day on May 30th. And it's said to have originated in Waterloo, New York, and it was declared officially in 1966 by Congress and President Lyndon Johnson. However, in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, claims there were said that Boalsburg was the birthplace. And in 1868, that is when they wanted to commemorate it, and commemorate that over 620,000 soldiers died in the Civil War, and that's how they wanted to commemorate that. So, the day specifically honors those who died in military service, as many of you are aware. If you were not aware, well, there you go. I am just giving some facts. So, an interesting quote that I came across is from a vet who said that one shouldn't say thank you for your service. Instead, they should say, I hope you're having a meaningful day. And, I like that as a sentiment in general. Like, I feel that something like that transcends Memorial Day. What other facts are there? The flower that symbolizes Memorial Day is the poppy, because in the war-ravaged fields, the red field poppy was one of the first plants to grow. So that is why the poppy is the symbolized flower. However, on the flip of that, Irish nationalist Republicans and Irish Catholics, they regard the poppy as supporting soldiers who killed Irish civilians, like in Bloody Sunday, and also who collided with illegal loyalist paramilitaries during the Troubles. So they are not necessarily down with the poppy as a flower. So, on a happier note regarding my birthday week, it was actually pretty fun. Granted, this is during the COVID time, so I'm not out there kicking up my heels in public settings. However, I do have work colleagues who they were giving out some goodies, and but what I mostly did with my birthday, I ended up just baking a lot of banana bread. I have a special recipe that I use, and I ended up doling out a lot of loaves to people, and so that's kind of what I did. I was like giving back, and I just happened to receive like a lot of great goodies. One of those goodies is a bottle of something from France, which I will partake of either later on or in the next coming days. So, but yeah, it was a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of useful things, and things that I can use and things that I want. So it's very, very cool. And it was nice. It was nice to be able to celebrate it among some people. And I hope once all of this kind of, alleviates itself, that I'll be able to celebrate in a bigger fashion. But we'll see. Normally I don't go all out, but I will try to do something fun around my birthday. So, what else? Oh, there are others in my family who have birthdays around mine. So a shout out to my little niece, and whose birthday is the day before mine, which is on the 29th, and also to my nephew, whose is on the 1st. So go, 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 Geminis! Yay! Happy birthday, fam! And let's see, how do I normally celebrate my birthday? It really is just hanging out with friends and family that I adore and love, and we'll just hang out. Nothing too crazy. I don't have a white party on a yacht someplace, although that may happen down the road. We'll see. And how would I have celebrated? There are a couple of establishments that I would go to hang out. I may give shout-outs to those later on, but, I don't, for fear of having a spot blow up and not be able to hang out there anymore. So, but, I don't set things on fire or paint the town red and go on huge binges or anything, but it's a lot of the normal stuff, just hanging out with fun people in a fun place, getting dressed and looking cute, and just doing the most, having some laughs, and and having other people enjoy it at the same time. So that's what it's all about. It's about sharing those moments with cool people. And but yeah, I had like a pre-celebration on Wednesday, and it was a birthday surprise. There was a pretty decent spread of pizza and presents and actually pupusas. And somebody else got tea cakes from a really cool place that is in a different part of town, but really good stuff. And again, I may share those things at another time. So, but all of it was bomb, and I stuffed myself silly on it. Let's see, what other little things can I ramble about? Oh, yeah, I was out in nature earlier in the week, and I saw, and it was interesting. I just randomly saw this, where this hummingbird was incrementally going up this rather tall tree. It was like just a thick, thick tree, and it could be something it normally does, but I've never seen a hummingbird do this, but the way it was going up a tree, like I said, it was incrementally, and for whatever reason, I was thinking like, that hummingbird is doing its version of chin-ups. Just the way that it was going up the tree. It was just, I don't know, it was interesting. It was odd, but interesting, and I wasn't mad at it. It's like, hey, go on about your biz, hummingbird. But I was thinking like, well, does a hummingbird necessarily need to do chin-ups? Because it tends to flap its wings an awful lot. Like, that's its exercise. You know, as fast as it beats its wings, like, it has no need for any other cardio. So, let's see. I would like to end this on a nicer note. I had some other things that I was going to talk about. One of them is the fact that I do have a passing in my family. It's actually it's my mom who passed away last month, a little over a month ago, and this has been a rough time, especially having her pass during this pandemic. It wasn't pretty, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about it now. I may in upcoming episodes, but as a friend had said, this will be a year of the first holidays, the first Mother's Day, the first birthday, all the holidays and special days. And yeah, I randomly, well, when she first passed away, it was definitely hard, obviously, and but now I'm at that point of not breaking down as often and randomly in public as I did before, but still sad, and it still hurts. And you wouldn't know it, but I don't wear a lot of that stuff on my sleeve out in public. But still, every once in a while, it'll kind of catch me off guard, or I hear a song. Heck, actually, this week I heard Bob Marley's, "Don't Worry." Actually, I'm not too sure about the title, but, the one that's "Don't Worry About a Thing," because every little thing is going to be all right. I heard that I was out and about and just instantly started bawling. And, it's a song like that. For whatever reason, it just caught me off guard. And, yeah, the waterworks were flowing. And, but I let it ride, and I felt that moment. I just let it happen. And, it happened for whatever reason it did. I don't know if that was the universe, angels, my mom, just saying, hey, I'm with you. That could have been that. And even just talking about it now, I'm feeling that emotion. So, yeah. But, it gets better as the days go on. But, yeah. So, and I don't know, I may talk more about that another time. But, so I'm going to wrap this up. And, because I have like a whole list of things I still need to do and knock out, and, that never-ending to-do list that we all have. Things I wanted to do this morning and just didn't get around to doing it. Because actually I was doing things for other people. So, but I want to end it by, let's, just in light of everything that's going on, and actually I made it home, just in time for curfew. I don't know about everybody else, but we have a curfew in place from 8 p.m. to 5 in the morning. And I heard in other places in the East, it is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. But I don't know if other major cities have that as well. So, but I got notice of that, like many others, around a little bit after 7, that an 8 p.m. curfew was in place. And actually, while I was on my way home, I saw lots of groupings of cop cars heading in the opposite direction. And I was not in an area that was known for protesting, so I don't know if they were just sending in the reinforcements or calling the reinforcements to head to, where the protests were happening. But, yeah, it's, scary times. But like I said, I don't know if this is finally the straw that is going to break that back, and we will start to see some real change, and more people be aware. And yeah, I understand not getting involved for safety's sake. Because nobody wants any physical harm to come to people. And, I don't wish ill on anyone, even for those people that would wish ill upon others. I do not wish ill upon them, for anybody. That's just not the way that I roll. Now, do I hope that karma intervenes for those people that bring harm to others? Yeah, I do. But that subject another time. So what I will say is that, I have a family, I have in-laws who are in Minneapolis, very close to ground zero, and it is just frightening, the reports I'm hearing, and, the things that I'm hearing, even, where I am, so, which is Los Angeles, people, yeah, it's, yeah, I don't want to end this on a really bad note, but, and I know I've said this before, but I just want to say, just be careful and be kind to one another, and be aware. So if you are able to stand up for somebody and speak on what is right, please do. And like I said, I understand not putting yourself in harm's way. I get that because, we all have lives to live. People have families, people to support. And other people that are counting on them. And, even if you don't have that, we all count on one another in some way, shape, or form. We all do. And everybody matters. All lives matter. Please do not forget that. So with that, I just want to say thank you for listening yet again. Thank you for all of the happy birthday wishes that I've been getting all week. And I know I will continue to get throughout the evening, throughout the next day, and the days after. So thank you for that. And thank you for listening to Mari's Golden Hour. I hope that this gave you just, a little something else to listen to. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Thank you for checking out the YouTube channel. And I will be making more posts, more videos to come. And like I said, just be kind to one another. And thank you for the happy birthday. Yay!